2021 has been an unprecedented year for new voting laws. And as Jesse Cohen found, some laws do make it easier to vote, but others make it more difficult.
That volume of voting restrictions is really unprecedented.
Eliza Swearin Becker is the Voting Rights and Election Counsel at the Brennan Center for Justice, an organization that's been looking at these changes closely.
Unfortunately, the states that are making it harder to vote tend to be states in which it is already very hard to vote. And the states that are making it easier to vote are states in which voting is already fairly accessible.
These 25 states passed 62 laws with provisions to expand voting access. However, Eliza says this does not balance the scales. These 19 states passed 33 laws this year that make it harder to vote. Those voters are likely to notice a difference.
So we're seeing this very small death by 1,000 paper cuts way of keeping people from being able to have their vote counted. And even worse, they may not realize it didn't count.
Throughout the 2021 state legislative sessions, there have been more than 425 bills with provisions that restrict voting access introduced. And 4 states, Iowa, Georgia, Kansas, and Texas, have imposed new or more stringent criminal penalties on election officials or other individuals.
The worst part of all these things that are administrative, they're on the processing end, they're on the application side. We're not going to realize that these things have happened until it's too late.
Stephanie Ali, the policy director for the New Georgia Project, is dealing with the fallout firsthand. She says Georgia lawmakers have made mail voting and early voting more difficult, and a new voter ID requirement could keep 250,000 people away from the polls because they don't have a Georgia ID card. Other changes are more subtle.
Not being able to give out water, not being able to give out food is so noticeable and such a big thing that's going to grab attention. But there's actually 5 new criminalizations for voting in SB 202, many of which happen in the privacy of someone's home.
Georgia leaders say the rules actually expand access. The new laws expand weekend voting in some regions and require state officials to keep voting lines under an hour. But Stephanie believes these laws do far more harm than good.
It's going to really just nickel and dime the way that they are able to vote. Instead of seeing, just a huge sweeping change when they first go to the ballot box like they might expect, it's actually going to be little things that stop them up every single time.
And that kind of voter suppression is best dealt with at the federal level, and that's why Congress has to act.
In Georgia, I'm Jesse Cohen reporting.
Thank you for joining us this week for our conversation about the state of democracy in America. Join us next week as we take a look at Native American heritage. We'll take you inside a unique school helping students maintain their cultural identities in the face of a painful past. Until then, from Chandler, Arizona, I'm Chris Stewart, and this is The Race.